So the Giants take Cam Brown, outside linebacker out of Penn State, in the 6th round. This is the first pick that we have with a clear connection to anybody on the coaching staff, obviously, to Sean Pence. He coached at Penn State, was the defensive line coach. You could argue that I think Brett Bielema on the coaching staff was a coach at Georgia, so you could say maybe there's a direct connection to Andrew Thomas and whatnot. Whatever the case is, Cam Brown. Now, he's outside linebacker in a 4-3 system, so I don't want to necessarily say we took an edge rusher, because 4-3 linebackers or 4-3 outside linebackers, they don't really rush the passer that much unless they're in blitz packages. So maybe they're trying to use this guy as a 3-4 inside linebacker, but at the same time he was announced as an outside linebacker. So maybe this plays into the versatility of the scheme that Graham and Judge were talking about. They were saying some weeks they're going to be in a 3-4 set, other weeks they're going to be in a 4-3 set. So maybe and he is taken in the 6th, so it's not like I'm expecting him to start anytime soon. He could definitely be coming in here, and the Giants could definitely be seen in 4-3 defensive sets this coming year, and he'll be out there as a 4-3 outside linebacker. Like I said, he's also depth, right? Maybe they develop him as a legitimate pass rusher. Let me read off what NFL.com says. 6'5", 233 pounds. Has a pretty good wingspan, 34 inches. At the combine, ran a 4.72, 16 reps on the bench press, 35.5 inches on the vertical jump, and then on the broad jump, 123 inches. So, a good athlete, not necessarily anything that jumps off the page, but when you look at his player bio, he did have in 2018, where they say he was a playmaker, started 12 of 13 games and played leading the squad with 3 forced fumbles, 63 tackles, 6.5 for loss, 2 sacks, and 6 pass breakups. So maybe he has a nose for getting the football with leading the Nittany Lions with 3 forced fumbles in 2018. He started all 13 games in 2019, recording 72 tackles, 5.5 for loss, 2 sacks, and 4 pass breakups to earn a 3rd team All Big Ten honors. And he's the cousin of Andre Davis, apparently. Now listen, this is still not necessarily where I would have went. I would have went Donovan Peoples-Jones, who was still on the draft board at this point. Great wide receiver out of Michigan who suffered from a terrible quarterback in Shea Patterson. And Peoples-Jones at this point would have been the steal of the draft, should have gone in the 2nd or 3rd round. I thought for sure it would have been, almost a no-brainer to take him, but it doesn't look like the Giants are necessarily valuing wide receiver as a position to draft this year, which I can't blame them. It looks like I said in any of the offensive line videos that I've done so far, they're building for the future. And with the way they're building, should it work, should it pan out? And of course, you got to take into account we are a rebuilding team, so technically a wide receiver pick would be what Evan Ingram was in 2017, a luxury pick. So a wide receiver pick would be a luxury. So if we're rebuilding and this works out, this draft, this offseason in general works out, it pans out, next year you could take that playmaking wide receiver and that playmaking edge rusher, maybe even get in free agency, where next year we have $100 million in free agency. But my first thoughts on this is that I really do think it's going to be one of two things. He's either going to be good depth to have, because I'm relying on the fact that Gettleman's late round picks in the past 2 years have panned out really nicely, and I think this guy will pan out really nicely. He was projected to go in the 4th or the 5th. You go on Walter Football, they have him as the 15th best outside linebacker here. You go to the Draft Network, they have him as a 4-star recruit. So by all means, he's being taken right around where he was projected to go, maybe even a little later than where he's projected to go. So in some sense, he could be a steal. Not necessarily saying that, but what I'm getting from any of these reports out here and these scouts is that he has really good football IQ, a very smart player, just like everybody else we drafted and what Judge wants, and that he could be a tackling machine because of his, tackle radius, his length, and his mobility. He's really good for being all over the field. Once again, that's what I'm saying. I think he could be a 3-4 inside linebacker, similar to a Blake Martinez. And now in that sense, I'm not sure how I feel about that, because we have a lot of Blake Martinez type linebackers in the lineup. and they could definitely shift him on the outside, get him to adapt to being an edge rusher. He's shown, with recording sacks and recording forced fumbles, that he has the potential to be that. But coming in at the 6th round, considering where he's ranked amongst his peers and in his position, he really is probably just a depth player, and we got to keep that in mind. Same as with Shane Lemieux that they took last round. He could be a starter, in the coming years, but as of right now, this is all depth. I'm gonna restate what I said in that video. 4th round and lower, 5th round and lower, basically. You're mostly taking best player available. In my opinion, Donovan Peoples-Jones was the best player available. Giants obviously don't value the wide receiver that highly in this draft, and they probably had this dude as the best player available. You're taking best player available. You're taking guys for depth, and you're taking guys through connections. This kind of fits the guys through connections and guys for depth. Let me know what you guys think. Personally, I would have gone here, but I'm not mad at it. This is a good pick. It's good depth. He doesn't really, in my opinion, have that much potential. I think he's a what you see, what you get player, but it's good depth. It's depth that's needed. So let me know what you guys think. I'm out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Put your comments down below. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Until next time, I'm out. Yeah.